Welcome back to Fold in the Cheese. It is your boy K-Troll on the mic today. I'm joined by Steve Young, who is in 49ers heaven right now, the 1 seed in the NFC. He is stoked. Ethan Gelfand is here doing his shimmy shake. What's happening, E?
I love Steve Young, man. As I think we've talked about this on the podcast, where he is actually the first football memory I have. It was the 95 Super Bowl when they played or that was 94 Super Bowl when they played the Chargers. And Steve Young was just a beast, went out there. I think he threw 5 touchdowns. Jerry Rice caught a couple. And since then, he was my guy. I was always, growing up, I was a Patriots fan, but I remembered Steve Young the most. So I loved the Patriots, but then I would always root for Steve Young, and he was my guy. Loved him every fantasy year when it was he still playing during fantasy when that came up? I would try and get him, I think,
probably,
first,
sure.
Second year. But anyway, since my Patriots are not anywhere close to sniffing the playoffs for a long time, I have to support my mans. So here we go.
It's good to have a backup team. I don't really have a backup team.
I wouldn't say it's my team, but like since he was with them, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, that's fair. My guys, like the guys that I like individually, are either out of the league now, like Drew Brees, and like the Saints aren't any good, and I don't really like them anyway. Or like Jamar Chase, who we've talked about as one of my guys, but like the Bengals aren't in the playoffs either. So like, I don't know. I guess if you're rooting for Titans, let go Mike Vrabel recently. Probably heading up to New England. I think there's definitely some shady stuff going on there.
Well, there's something about a trade, and they decided not to trade Vrabel. Like, why wouldn't you try and get something for him if you're going to fire him? Anyway,
yeah.
If he were to go to New England, now is the time to do it, because everyone's like, oh, well, no one wants to follow Belichick. Well, yeah, now we do, because 3 years of just heading downward. Now is the time. If there was ever a time to follow a legend like Bill Belichick, it's now, and show you can turn it around. So I would welcome Mike Vrabel with open arms. He's a Patriots guy. I like his style. So we'll see.
I don't like his style, but I think he's a very good coach. I'm tired of that style. I don't want that here. I don't think that the NFL, in my mind, the NFL is going in a different direction. The NFL is becoming more and more high-flying, fast-paced offense, scheming these crazy route combinations and trick plays and stuff. Vrabel is he's a tricky coach, and I do like that about him.
That's what I like about him, is that he's
like that. It's kind of a Dan Campbell in that way. Like those guys are they've got tricks up their sleeves, and I like that. He's gutsy, but he's just a little too conservative, ground and pound.
You're right.
Hard nose. Like I respect that, but I don't enjoy watching it.
You're right. That's probably the one aspect of his game or his scheme I would like to see change, is more of an offensive focus. And maybe that would be what he sees when he goes to a new place and say, like, okay, have everything else in his toolkit. That's the one piece maybe I need help on. And maybe keep a Bill O'Brien or go get a Eric Bieniemy from the Commanders.
Here's the problem, though. So when he first came to Tennessee, he had LaFleur, and then he had Arthur Smith as his offensive coordinators, and he let them run the show, and it worked really well. Those are both very good offensive minds. As much as we hate Arthur Smith, I hate Arthur Smith from a fantasy standpoint. Those guys were both really good offensive minds. And I guess he sort of like took control of that and hired these like lesser known offensive coordinators since then. And that's been the demise. So I'm worried for you that he's not going to outsource that as much as he should. And you're not going to see the plays that you would want to see.
I think maybe it was more of a kick in the pants. And I was like, oh crap, no, I need to. And maybe, as you said, as this trend continues, that he's like, maybe I do need to adapt this part of my coaching mantra. Everything else I can keep, because that's worked. Like the crazy schemes with the clock management. And I mean, I remember, and you'll always give me shit for this, the last Patriots Titans playoff game. He was a master at working that clock down to perfection and taking a penalty win and then not, and he just manipulated
the rules, man. And I do respect that. I love that. And Belichick's the same way. I think that comes from that Belichick. I mean, he knows every rule and every loophole to everything. So that's fun to watch.
Anyway, who knows what's going to happen with Bill Belichick? Anyway, if he's going to stay, I just hope they don't just dig their heels in at both sides, Kraft and Belichick. It's like, yeah, let's
run it back.
I'd love to see Vrabel. We'll see.
I got a feeling there's something going on behind the scenes where we're going to get Belichick and you're going to take Vrabel, and it will have been some weird, like, it would have cost the teams more money if they had traded them, or the money can be exchanged, under the table instead of through the league. Like I don't know. It's fishy to me. It's fishy
In
that
10
he
seconds.
gets fired.
In 10 seconds, would you want Bill Belichick?
No.
Okay.
Which is stupid,
seconds.
I know, because he is an
It's
all-time
not
great.
stupid. I think
Maybe
the
the
same
all-time
thing.
great,
The
but it's
game,
more the same for me. I think I'm kind of over that whole thing.
right. I think the game, as you're talking about with Vrabel, I think the game is passing him by now, and he doesn't want to adapt. And
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
enough about these coaches being fired and terrible teams right now. Sorry, your Titans are a little better than mine, but we're both terrible right now.
They're both terrible. Yeah. So we have got this week. We are going to first off, let me set the table by saying that we've been greatly disappointed. We've been let down by the postseason fantasy community
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row now. And Ethan said it best when he said, "Why do you keep taking things that we love? Why do you keep taking away the things that we love?" So, as you may recall, last year we had a playoff props challenge, which ESPN used to do, and it was really great. They used to come up with the lines and all that kind of stuff. They didn't do that last year, so we came up with our own prop challenge. Well, we also have the NFL.com postseason fantasy challenge, where you get multipliers the longer that the players you choose are staying in the playoffs. NFL.com says, "Thank you so much for always caring about this contest. We're not doing it anymore." So, what do the Fold the Cheese Boys do?
Thanks
We
for
gonna take care of it.
nothing.
Thanks for nothing is right.
NFL.com. And
That's right. We're going to take care of it ourselves. So,
yes,
we are running the pools ourselves. Mano y mano. Brain v brain. Why don't we start out with the props?
Okay.
And then maybe that'll feed nicely into our lineups here.
So I just like to say that these props come from the crazy, chaotic mind of me. I didn't look at any betting sites. I didn't look at anything.
Great.
I literally
Awesome.
looked up the games.
What I'm hearing is I should pull up DraftKings and just whatever. If you say someone's going to have 220 yards passing and DraftKings has the over-under at 270, you're way off.
I didn't. You'll be excited. It's going to be exciting. Yes, you will be. So here we go. Starting off easy. All right. So I got 7 for us. I figured it had to be an odd number in case, even though that doesn't really matter because neither of us can win. All right. First one, Jordan Love interceptions or CeeDee Lamb touchdowns. Which number will be greater?
I am going with CD touchdowns.
So Kemper, CD TDs. Okay. I'm going to go with Jordan Love intos.
Yeah. I think it's actually a really good bet, though. Honestly, that's a good one. I like where your head's at there.
Nice. I see. Okay.
Because
Stay
it seems
tuned.
likely that Love will probably have an interception. CD, in my mind, is kind of a lock for a touchdown, but
right.
No one's truly a lock. So you're probably right, especially if they get in desperation mode at the end there and they're trying to catch up.
My mind is it's going to be one of two things. Either the Cowboys are going to run away with it, or it'll be a squeaker where the Packers upset them. Okay. And so if they're running away with it, CD's already going to have his touchdown. They're going to bench him in the second half. And then Jordan Love's going to be playing from behind, just YOLO bombing it and just getting picked off. So there it is.
Okay.
That's my thought. Okay. There we go.
Fair.
Great. We already have a different. Love it. All right. So now we are a multiple choice. Most passing yards. We're going to have Dak, Goff, Stafford, or Bake Show. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go homecoming Stafford on that.
Oh, you son of a gun. I had him too. All right.
I think they're all going to have over 250, though.
Yeah.
I think all 4 of those are. Those are going to be blowing it out.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the narrative really matters as much as Detroit's secondary is really weak. So
that's what I was looking at. I was like, of the secondaries, unfortunately, I think Detroit's is the toughest. I think Detroit is going to win the game. It's going to be close. And so I think Stafford, in true Stafford Lion form, will have to come from behind and throw for more stats. So
yeah. Probably.
I thought I was going to get you on that one. All right.
You love Stafford, remember? You love him.
I love him. I love him so much. All right. And I know you're going to make fun of me already. Which number will be closer to 2? Okay. Mike Evans drops. Brock Purdy touchdown passes. DeAndre Swift touchdowns. Or Stafford interceptions. And yes, I know Brock Purdy is on a bye.
Okay.
Which number closer to 2?
Mike Evans drops, Purdy touchdown, Stafford interception, and what was the other one? Swift touchdowns.
Rushing or receiving or throwing.
Okay. I am going to go with.
Dun, 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 dun. What's your mindset? You're thinking, what do you think those numbers are going to be? Brock Purdy clearly is going to be 0.
Purdy's at 0. I think Swift is at 0. Evans, I think, will have 1 or 2. And Stafford will either have none because he's lighting it up, or same thing as Jordan Love. Like, I'm between those two.
Okay. I was between Swift touchdowns and Stafford intos. I'm not going to say which one I went with into. Or was it my turn to go first? It is my turn to go first.
You haven't gone first on any of these.
I did not. So I'm going to go first. I did not. Stafford interceptions. That's what I had.
Yeah. I think that's the right pick, but just to be different, I'll go with Evans drops.
Evans drops. And it's funny because I looked up
how many drops did he have on the year? I have no idea.
He had 8, which was top 10 in the league.
Won every other game.
So he had 8.
All right. Yeah, probably not going to be that then.
Now
I would like to change my pick.
I regret it. Okay. Pop quiz. Who had the most drops as a team?
Chiefs. No doubt.
Chiefs, by far.
No doubt. Right. It was like almost 50, I think, right? It was.
They had 40.
It was insane. Insane.
All right. Who will tally more receiving yards? Cooper Kupp, the Sun God, Puka, or the field? And this is just this game. Okay. When I say the field, I mean just this game.
Okay. That's really tough because you don't know if it's going to be Puka or Kupp. One of them is going to go over a hundo. You don't know which one.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, I'm going with Amon. Give me the Sun God.
Go with the
I actually don't fully believe that's gonna happen, but it certainly could. And he's gonna have the most of his team, in my opinion. He's gonna have the most of his team. You don't know which one between Kupp and Puka is gonna go off, so I'm taking Amon-Ra, my man.
I had written down Puka, but now I kind of regret it just because this is his rookie. I mean, this is his first playoff experience. I should have gone with Cooper. Just he's obviously been there and had the history with Stafford, but I already locked it in, and I'm a man of my digital word.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple games of Kupp and then a couple games of Puka, and then they've kind of bounced around. So it's a toss up, really.
It's a toss up. Okay, now we're switching over to the AFC matchups.
Okay.
All right, what is going to be the higher number? CJ Stroud pass attempts, Joe Flacco completions, Miami rushing attempts, and this one just for fun: Kansas City wide receiver drops.
God, if that's
they will have 30 in this game.
I mean, they might. they just might. Okay, so we got Miami is playing Kansas City.
Yep.
They run heavy. Flacco throws 40 to 50 times a game.
He does.
Stroud throws, 25 to 35 times a game. Rush attempts for Miami. I mean, if the game is going like they want it to at all, they'll have also, 35 rushes probably. So that's a good one. I'm going to go with
I liked your breakdown. Those were all literally in my head. That's exactly kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. I'm tempted to go with Stroud attempts.
Okay.
It's just Cleveland's defense is so good. I just think there's, if you get some 3 and outs in there, it's like that game could get slowed down pretty easily.
So wide receiver drops not in play.
Wide receiver drops are not in play. I think you owe a go first on this one.
Oh, okay. I'm going with Flacco completions.
Yeah,
he's been throwing the ball like mad. I know Jerome Ford's been decent, but I just see him continuing to sling it. I mean, he's been upwards of 47 attempts, and his completions have been in the high 20s, if sometimes low 30s. So that's where I'm going.
I'm gonna go with Stroud attempts.
Stroud attempts.
Yeah, same logic I mentioned earlier. I just think attempts is, gosh, if you're in any kind of a tight game and if you're playing from behind or whatever, you got to chuck it.
Okay.
And to your point, if Flacco is having like 47 attempts and he's completing like 28, 29, it's actually not great.
Not great complete. I didn't say percentage. I didn't say
it's not great.
Because that's the thing. CJ Stroud's percentage is so high. For a couple, he's like 20 of 26. That's why I didn't do him completions because it's anyway. Okay. So you got
may live to regret that. We'll see. And honestly, Miami Rush could win that. I mean, it could be they could have 38 rush attempts.
All right. So sticking with that. Oh no. So sticking with the AFC games. Who is going to have the most rushing yards? Mostert, Pacheco, James Cook, or the field? Keep in mind the field is anybody on the Browns, could be anybody on the
I'm going with the field.
Going with the field.
Yep.
Going with the field. I am gonna go with Panchero.
Yeah, I think Pacheco is a good bet, but I'm going with the field.
Okay. So just curious, out of the field, who is the person that you're like, yes, that could be the guy?
Devon Achane.
Okay. And it's funny, I almost put Achane on there, but I was like, okay, he'll be included in the field. So that's fine.
He's the one that makes me nervous about taking anybody else because he's an 80-yard run waiting to happen, Fair. I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen, but that's one of the main reasons I like the field.
Okay. Field's also pretty big. I mean, that still has like a Jerome Ford, a Devin Singletary in there.
Is this just AFC field?
Just AFC field.
Okay. You should clarify that.
I'll write it in. The AFC field.
AFC field, yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then once again, same with the AFC games. Last one. Which number will be highest? Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen pass touchdowns. Josh Allen and Raheem Mostert rushing touchdowns. Joe Flacco and Tua interceptions. Or Nico Collins, George Pickens, and Gabe Davis touchdowns.
Golly. Wow.
That's a lot of things. That's a lot of combinations.
To think about. Okay.
So as a Josh Allen owner, fantasy owner, like it was wild. I'd say like his last 3 or 4 games, he had more rushing touchdowns than he did passing. So that's why I wanted to throw in his rushing ability, which is kind of wild. Mahomes has been quieter this year, obviously with his receiver woes. But he still obviously has the ability to go off for 5 in a game. Flacco and 2 interceptions. Flacco has been lining it up. He also has been turnover prone, and Tua has been of late as well. So, and then Nico Collins, George Pickens, Gabe Davis.
Wild card, man.
Gabe Davis could have 4 touchdowns, or
Gabe Davis can have 3. Pickens can have 2, and Collins can have 2, and that could definitely be it. I'm gonna play it safe with Mahomes and Allen passing touchdowns.
That is also what I had.
Yeah, because I think you're gonna get 2 or 3 of each, 2 or 3 from each. Allen's gonna likely have a rushing touchdown. And Mostert is the guy that gets it for Miami. So I factor in 3 rushing touchdowns between those 2 guys, conservatively like a high number. Yeah, it could be less than that for sure. Flacco 2 interceptions. I'm thinking 3, maybe 4. But I think you're going to get 5 or 6 touchdowns from Mahomes and Allen. And then Nico and those guys, like I had 0 to 5. I was like 0 to 5.
0 to 5.
It could be, and honestly, it could be 0 to 7. Who knows?
Yeah,
those guys are such wild cards, but I think I feel safest. Like Mahomes is gonna get 2 touchdowns, maybe 3, and I think it's gonna be a shootout. And Allen is gonna get at least a passing touchdown, probably 2, maybe 3. I feel good about that.
Okay, I too went with that combo again, as you said, kind of the safest pick. I was thinking interceptions just because of Joe Flacco and 2 of late, but. Yeah,
worth considering.
So yeah, they're my what is it? The Crazy 7, or what's that movie? Something 7. Magnificent 7. Magnificent 7.
Lucky Sevens. Yo, I like those. Those are good. I will be much less original, so maybe we'll just let you keep that.
It will be much.
Yeah. Hope you're writing down all of our picks.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. I like that a lot. Let's see what happens there, and then of course we're going to switch gears here. We're going to cover our playoff fantasy rosters as well.
Yeah.
As a reminder, we will be doing one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, a flex, a kicker, and a defense.
Oh, I forgot defense.
Okay. The points they accrue will multiply each week that their team is still around and they're still accruing stats. So, for instance, it's not a terrible strategy sometimes to take a player who's on a bye the first week if you think their team's going to go far. Likewise, if you think a wild card team or anybody playing this weekend is going to go far, that's a shoe-in to put them in your roster. They will get double points next week, triple points the week after, and quadruple points in the Super Bowl. So let's start off. We'll just go quarterbacks, and we'll just work our way through here.
Okay.
I'm happy to go first here. My quarterback, I had a lot of back and forth on this one, but I am settling on Josh Allen.
Oh, okay. Interesting, which is funny. Not funny. The past 2 years, you have always gone, not always, but it's usually been Patrick Mahomes as the 1 seed. And you have typically gone with your quarterback having the bye the first week. So this is kind of a new area for you, going quarterback who's playing week 1. I like
Once I hear yours, I'll tell you other names I was really strongly considering, but go ahead.
I was going between 2. Allen was the cusp 3 for me, but obviously I feel like that's pretty obvious that he would be your top 3 choice. I was going between the 2 bye quarterbacks, honestly. Because I think they're going to be there the longest. I ended up going with, as much as it pains me, I went with Lamar Jackson because he has been ludicrous these past few weeks. And the Ravens just look like the team is going to be around. They're going to make the Super Bowl. I mean, it looks wild. So I went with Lamar just for the staying factor and the fact that he's been on fire.
Yeah, I feel like the AFC is a weaker division in general, but I also, in the same vein, have less faith in Baltimore.
Which honestly, same. I that was the thing that was kind of. There's always Mahomes. There's always the Mahomes factor. You think he can always do something. You never know. Josh Allen wild card, and so I too don't have as much faith in the Ravens per se. But the NFC just looks like it's going to be a dogfight, and it scared me.
Yeah, I almost went Purdy. I almost went Dak because you get the extra game. Okay. Yeah. And I think the Cowboys at home should roll to the NFC Championship in my mind. And so I'm like, that's 3 games of Dak, that's not so bad. But we'll see. Running back 1, give me your first running back pick.
CMC, easy.
CMC, yep. Moving on. The only legitimate stud running back in this entire field, I would say.
Yeah.
I was literally there's no one else that you really care about.
No. So this is one that's kind of making me vomit, and I already regret writing it down on my paper.
Here it comes.
James Cook.
Okay. I was gonna say Gus Bus. I don't hate James Cook. I went back through his game log though. It's disgusting. It's not it's not pretty. And to clarify, we'll do a full PPR in this thing. It'll make me stat keeping. It'll make that a lot easier. But yeah, I like the James Cook pick, especially if Buffalo makes it far. They are a unpredictable team.
They're Hansel right now.
They're hot right now.
They can make the AFC Championship at least. So,
all right. So I'm wild carding here. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm going with Devon Achane. Same thing. I think if someone's going to go off, and you have to. In my mind, the equation is always, is 1 game of this guy worth 2 games of somebody else?
Right.
Probably.
Because honestly, 1 game, let's say Achane loses first game, but he gets 25 points. James Cook could maybe get me 7, and then the next round get me 15. You already got your money's worth there.
Yeah, and granted, you don't ever get that 4x multiplier at the end, but if you can get 2 games out of him, and if they make a run, which they've got the talent, it'll be a game changer.
Yeah.
All right, first receiver for me, I'm going. So I start the hedge. I'm going CD Lamb.
Oh, I had CD. I erased him. He was actually my wide receiver 2. My wide receiver 1 is Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, so I took Brandon Ayuk as my wide receiver 2, and so I've got him in my second slot here. I think CD at home is gonna absolutely annihilate.
So as I said, I originally had CD as my wide receiver.
Yeah, he's got 2 great matchups as well. So he's got, first off, he gets to play Green Bay this week, which I think I think they'll handle their business. I think he'll crush. If they get Detroit next week, that'll be a shootout, but that is a great secondary to expose. Dallas has got an easier road, I think, first and second round. So I like CD.
Okay. So I originally had him. And then the one concern I had is I didn't want to have 4 different teams in this lineup. So this is also where I'm going to vomit a little bit. I already know. I don't want to say it. Can we just pass and we'll just see it on the computer screen?
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers.
I knew it.
Because I figured, if I'm sticking with Lamar, I'm going to be riding him. I want to have someone he's going to be throwing it to. So I didn't want to diversify too much, get off, with CD and all that. So Zay Flowers is
okay. So you're clearly all in on Baltimore, and I'll just tip my hat and say I don't have any Baltimore. So that could be the absolute game changer for you. So I've got CD and Ayuk. Tight end, I'm going with Kittle. I'm sticking with the Niners. You can see the theme here. I'm heavy on the Niners.
Yep.
I think he's the best tight end in the situations here as well. So especially to your point
again,
with Laporta out.
Yeah, with Laporta would have been the question mark just because even if he only gets 2 games, that could be a lot of points scored because of his receptions and yardage. Kittle is always a wild card. I was surprised he got 1,000 yards this year, which he did. But once again, the staying factor, you think of a Travis Kelce, but are they going to be around as long? You're not sure. So I went with Kittle as well.
Okay. How about your flex? Who you got?
This is probably going to bite me in the butt. Maybe this is to counteract your quarterback, but I went with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I don't hate that. He has been cold, but I don't hate the pick.
Very cold.
Yes. And it does hedge. You've got some Buffalo in there with him and Cook, so that could work out to your advantage. I'm going Tyreek in my flex.
Ooh, okay.
I got Achane, and if there's a chance they upset Kansas City, who I don't have faith in Kansas City right now.
I mean, no reason
it sucks. I'd love to see him make a run again, but I have no faith in them. And I don't have a ton of faith in Miami, but these are some absolute ballers.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a monster game from Tyreek, and if they make it out of the first round, I'm pretty set here.
Yeah, that Tyreek is a sneaky good pick right there. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they win 1 game, you've already got your money's worth out of them because he's going to get something. So
yeah, and I was looking at they'll play Baltimore if they win, assuming the Buffalo handles Pittsburgh, but that matchup is not super scary from a secondary,
Right.
So
okay,
we'll see.
All right, and then who's your defense, man?
Kicker and defense, both San Francisco. I'm going Jake Moody. I'm going San Francisco. Lock it in. I'm all in on the Niners.
I went with Justin Tucker and Niner defense.
Yeah, that's fair. Justin Tucker makes sense. I didn't have the same faith in Baltimore specifically, but I will tell you, the late swap that I made, I was telling you to make it from I was on 3 teams. I was in Buffalo, Miami, and San Francisco, which doesn't make any sense because it's Baltimore's not even in there, but they don't have any playmakers. I didn't know who to even take. I don't want.
So you put CD in there. So who'd you take out?
I put CD in there. I had Debo in there. I was like Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, McCaffrey. I was going to go every Niner.
Every Niner. Okay.
And maybe I should have, but we'll see.
Well, it's interesting you put in CD while I took him out. So that could be, I could also be a game changer. It'll be interesting. All right.
Yeah.
I like it.
See. I'm stoked about it, though. I'll keep track of these, and then I've got a spreadsheet set up here for multipliers and all that. You got Lamar, CMC. Just remind us real quick. Lamar, CMC.
All right, here's my squad. We got Lamar Jackson, CMC, James Cook, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers, George Kittle, Stephon Diggs, Justin Tucker, 49er defense.
Boom. All right, here's my squad. I've got Josh Allen, CMC, Devon Achane, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Tyreek Hill, Moody, I forgot his name already, and Jake Moody. Jake Moody, the kicker, and San Francisco's defense. I am heavy Niners.
Shout out to Jake Moody, his alma mater, winning the national championship. Congratulations to Jake.
Is he a Wolverine?
He is a Wolverine, one of the all-time great kickers there.
Yeah, that game was incredible, and Michigan just so dominant, unreal. I will say Michael Penix missed a good chunk of open throws. He looked either rattled or injured or just nervous. I don't know, but that's something to keep your eye on for NFL scouts for sure.
Once again, as we talked about offline, we are not sure who JJ McCarthy is. Is he a good quarterback? We're not sure. He's definitely okay. I take that back. He's a good quarterback, but what is his skill set?
Is he Alex Smith?
What can
or
he
is
do?
he Tua? Or is he who is he?
We don't know.
We don't know.
He's a wild card. Charlie Day.
He is a national champion. We know that.
That's all that needs to be said. National champion. Once again, whenever he gets introduced at parties, oh, this is my friend, national champion JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, damn straight.
All right, so I like it. Even though they take away things we love, we put it right back and give it right back to them. So hey, if there are listeners out there you want to join us, let us know. Submit your picks, and we will keep track of them for you. So we got some great matchups coming up this weekend. I'm glad the playoffs are here. Kind of sad that it means the season's coming to a close, but it's going to be some exciting games. So until next time, keep on folding.
Hold it.